Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class. Our textbook is We Can Too, and today we will cover Unit 2, Friends, Actions, Things from Phonics Practice on page 65. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil. So let's begin. Quick revision on our last lesson. In our last lesson, we got introduced to different sounds, different three sounds that we usually use at the end of words that, or the plural words that ends with S. And we say that we have three different sounds. Sounds like, we do have sounds like sa, in, sa, and z, and is. And we gave example of some of these words. We said that with apples, for example, it ends with z. And with apricots, for example, it ends with, the sound ends with sa. And with cookies, the sound ends with is. So what we're going to do today is that at the end of this lesson, I hope that you can make the sounds for the words that ends with S. Not only this, but also to ask and answer with have, and to use and, or, but. So these are our objectives in today's lesson. So to begin, please open your books on page 65. Open your books on page 65. On page 65, as you can see here, what we need to do is we are going first to listen. We are going to listen to the word. After we listen, we're going to check what is the last sound of this word. So here, for example, this word that you are about to see, after we listen to it, we need to put a check mark and check mark on one of these boxes. If this word, or the sound of this word ends with sa, we put here a mark. If it's end with za, we put here the mark. If it's end with is, we put here a mark. After this, we're going to go and write it again. We're going to write the word again. I'm going to show you how to write this word. So let's begin here, and this is only an example. Let's try to answer the first one. So the first word here we have is apples. Apples. Now listen carefully and tell me what is the last sound of this word. Apples. Apples. Very good. So the last sound of this word matches with the sound z. Z. Apples. Apples. So now we have listened to the word. We did check the sound, which is z. Now it is time to write. So we can go here and write this word. Now we can go here and write this word again. Apples. Apples. So this is the first word. Apples. Apples. Repeat after me. Apples. Apples. Excellent. Now let's move on to the second word. The second word here, I'm going to pronounce it. I would like you to listen and then guess what is the last sound of this word. And then we can put a check mark on one of each of these boxes. Let me first remind you of the sounds. The first one here, the first sound is sa, sa. The second one is z, z. The third one is. Okay, are you ready to listen to the second word? Let's begin. Apricots, apricots, apricots. This is our second word. Apricots. So, what do you think? What is the last sound of this word? Apricots. Excellent. The last sound matches with this one. S, s. Apricots. Now, after we have listened to this word and then put a check mark in the right box, now it is time to write it again. So let's me and you write it again. So the word we have here is apricot. So here we have A, P, R, I, C, O, T, and S. Apricots, apricots. Now, let's listen to the third word. So here's the third word. You're going to listen, and then you're going to check with what is the sound that ends with this word. So the third word here is onions, onions. As you can see, onions. So onions, what does it end with? Does it end with the first sound, s, or the second, z, or the third one, is? Onions. Well, onions ends with the second one, z, z, onions. So now we have listened to this word and then we put a check mark in the right box. Now it is time to write the word onions. So let's write it here again. O, N, I, O, N, and S. Onions, onions. Now, let's move on to the fourth one. The fourth word here we have, listen carefully, cookies, cookies. As you can see here, cookies. So, what do you think? Cookies. Is it sa, za, or is? Cookies. Excellent. The right answer here is cookies. Now, we listen to this word, cookies, and then we put a check mark on the right or in the right box. Now it is time to write it again. So here we write the word cookies. So we start with C, O, O, K, I, E, so here we have E, let's erase this. Now we can go back and write E, and let's see, E and S. Just to make sure we put it in the right place. Okay, so here we have E and S. Cookies, cookies. Now, let us move on to the fifth one. The fifth word here we have is chips, chips. You can see it here, chips. So, what does this word ends with? chips, chips. Is it sa, za, or is? Chips. The right answer is the first one, sa, chips, chips. So we go write it again. C H I P and S. Chips, chips. Now let us move on to the next word we have, which is sandwiches. Listen carefully. Sandwiches, sandwiches. So here's the word, sandwiches. So what does this word ends with? Does it end with the first sound, sa, or with za, or with is? Sandwiches. The right answer is the last one, is. Sandwiches. So let's write it again. So we start with S A N D W I C H E E and S. Sandwiches, sandwiches. Here you go. So now we know the three different sounds that ends with each word. And we also learned that some of these words ends with the sa sound, like chips, apricots, and some of them ends with the za sound, like apples, onions, and some of them ends with is sound, like cookies, sandwiches. It's very important that we know these differences. Now, let us move on to the second part of our lesson. The second part here is I would like you to write answers. Answers with questions that starts with do you? Do you have a pen? And if you remember last time we learned that such question can be answered in two ways. Either we say, yes, I do, or we say, no, I don't. So this is how we can answer questions that starts with do you. So this is only an example. Do you have a pen? Yes, I do. I have a pen. Or no, I don't. This are the only two answers, the possible answers we can answer here with such question. Let's move on to the second one. Do you have cookies? Do you have cookies? So here, as we said, that we can answer this question by saying, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Not only this, but also if we have something else with the cookies, we can say, yes, I have cookies and milk. Yes, I have cookies and milk. So here we can answer by using this word. Yes, I have cookies and milk. You remember that we said we use and if we have two things together. If we have two things together, here in this case we can say, yes, I have cookies and milk. I have oranges and apples. I have pens and notebook. We can use and to talk about two things. Now, let us move on to the third question. Do you have a computer? Do you have a computer? So what do you think? What are the two possible answers for such question? Very well. The two possible answers are yes, I do, or no, I don't. These are the two possible answers. Let's move on to the fourth one. Do you have notebooks? Do you have notebooks? And as we said that there are two possible answers. We can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. But also we can use other answer. Other answer like, yes, I have a notebook, but I don't have a pen. I have a notebook, but I don't have a pen. So we learned that we can use but here if we do have something, but we don't have the other. In this case, we said, yes, I have notebook, but I don't have a pen. This is how we can use but to talk about something that we don't have. I have a notebook, but I don't have a pen. Now, at the end of this lesson, and our goal is goal number 39. In this goal, it's very important that we can make the sounds for the words that ends with S. Like, as we said, like apples, chips, sandwiches. Those are very important sounds that we need to learn and we need to practice. Not only the examples that I have shown you, but also you can use other examples like screens, bins, oranges, a lot of examples that ends with S we can use just to differentiate between the three different sounds. Also, we can ask and answer questions that start with have. Like, for example, do you have an orange juice? Do you have a pen? Do you have a notebook? So it's very important that we are able to ask questions that starts with do you have? And not only this, not only asking, but also we learn how to answer. When someone asks us, do you have something? I have two possible answers. Either I said, yes, I do, or I say, no, I don't. And the final goal here is use and or but. We said that when you answer, when you want to talk about two things together, you can use and. I have oranges and apples. And when you have something and you don't have the other thing, you can here use but. I have oranges, but I don't have apples. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.